Are you thinking about starting an online course, but you're not sure if it will be successful or not? What if I told you that you could sell your online course before you put in all that time and effort into building it? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can sell your online course before you finish it and why that's better, not only for you, but for your potential students as well. The concept behind this that I'm going to explain is called pre-selling. If you want to see more videos like this helping you grow your online knowledge business, please click like and subscribe below. Hey everyone, I'm Brian McAnulty. I'm the founder of Heights Platform, the online course creation software that helps you monetize your knowledge and get your customers results. Imagine being able to validate your course idea with your audience so that by the time that your launch date comes around, you not only have sales, but you have the confidence that your course is going to provide exactly what your audience needs. Well, how do you do this? That is through this idea of pre-selling. And in this video, I'm going to show you what pre-selling is, how it works, why it's better, and how you can ensure that you'll be successful with it. So pre-selling is the idea that you're basically giving your customers the opportunity to pre-purchase your course before you finish it. So you're putting up a sales page where customers can go and they can purchase your course, and then they'll see probably you have a mention of when your launch date is going to be, so they know when they'll actually get access to it and when it launches. Some creators might feel hesitant or uncomfortable about the idea of pre-selling because essentially what I'm explaining for you to do here is to sell something before you've even created it. And especially if you're a new creator where this is the first time you're building an online course, I can completely relate to the idea that this could feel uncomfortable. But I'm going to explain how not only is this an ethical way to sell your course, but it's actually better for your students as well. So there's 3 reasons where pre-selling is best for you and for your students. And the first reason is that pre-selling is going to help you validate your idea. It's going to prove that the course that you want to build is actually something that your students want to buy. The second is that pre-selling is going to validate your marketing strategy. So it's going to prove that the way that you're promoting your course actually works, because if people buy it before you create it, then you know that the way you're promoting it works. If nobody buys it, then you know that you have to shift something in your marketing strategy. And third is pre-selling helps you understand the questions and the problems that your potential students may have. And this is really the key point, because as I explained, that you want to validate your idea. With any business, when you're building a new product, any company is going to try to do some kind of research before they build something to kind of understand if their market wants it. So that's what you're doing with pre-selling. And what you want to do is figure out to make sure that your course and your content is the best. You don't want to just go about building whatever you thought was good. You want to make sure that you're asking your actual potential students what it is that they have questions about, what it is that they want to learn. Because if you just sat all by yourself and started building your course, it could be a great course, but there might be a bunch of little things that you forgot that along your journey, maybe there were questions that you had as well, but you've been working on whatever it is that you've been working on for so long that you forgot to include that in your course because that was just something that was second nature to you at this point, but maybe then it wasn't. So being able to hear your students talk about that and ask you about that is going to make sure that you can provide all those answers to students in your course itself. So when you launch your course, you know that you have the best possible course that is already going to answer students' questions, instead of launching the course and then finding out after, oh, well, everybody has all these questions and my course doesn't really answer those yet. Okay, so to recap on that, pre-selling is going to help you validate your idea, it's going to help you validate your marketing, and it's going to help you answer any of the questions or potential problems that your students may have. Pre-selling is going to benefit you because it allows you to focus your time on the right actions, the right content, double down on the right marketing strategies, and it's going to benefit your students because they're going to end up with a course that's going to fully answer all of their questions. Okay, well, that all sounds great, but how do we actually go about pre-selling an online course? Well, the first thing that you're going to do here is you want to build up a targeted audience that are your potential customers who might buy your course. And now the reason this is so important is because a lot of course creators will think, okay, well, I have this great idea for a course. They spend all this time creating it, and then they launch it, and then no one buys it. No one's there. No one visits it. There's the old saying that says, build it and they will come. And that is really not true when it comes to the modern internet and e-commerce. So it's not like that. You have to build some kind of audience for yourself to be able to get that traffic and be able to get those sales. So pre-selling is even better for a new creator because it's forcing you to build up that audience ahead of time. So when you do go to launch your course and it is ready, hopefully you got some sales beforehand, but now you have an actual audience that they know about you, they're hearing about your content, and they're warmed up to the idea of what you have to offer them, as opposed to launching a course to crickets and then you just don't have an audience yet. So that can be one of the hardest parts as a creator, that you spend all this time, you launch this course, and then no one's there to buy it yet. And it's really hard on your motivation. So the idea of pre-selling a course is actually can be a big boost to your motivation as a creator, because you're able to validate to yourself that somebody actually wants to buy what you have to offer them. Now, the next part is that I keep talking about this concept of validating your course idea. Well, how does that actually work? If you're pre-selling the course and if you're going to sell it to people before you launch it, well, is that the validation? It can be, because you're proving that people actually want to buy it. But what a lot of creators like to do is hold a kind of beta launch or mini launch for their course before that actual final launch date. So the idea is that you're selling people into basically an unfinished version of your course, and then you're able to see where they have questions along the way. And that's going to help you kind of flesh out your content and ensure that your content is really answering all the questions that your students have. Because as a creator, you can probably relate to the idea that if you're really a professional at something, then it can be in a way hard to teach people who are absolute beginners. Because let's say that you've been doing this for years and there's all these little pieces that you learned it at one point when you were at that same stage as the person you're teaching, but it's been so long since then that you kind of forgot that little part until somebody asked you about it. And then you say, oh, yeah, well, I remember when I had that problem too. Well, this is how you solve it. So having somebody actually go through an unfinished course is in a way going to help you figure out what are those pieces that you're missing that you probably wouldn't have figured all out by yourself if you just went and built your course without any feedback. So we went over a little bit about what pre-selling is, why you should do it, and how you can do it. But what if your pre-sale campaign is not successful? So what happens if nobody buys it from you? So here we have two options and two possible outcomes of what could be the problem. One, it's either your course idea itself is not good, it's not something that the market actually wants to buy, or two, it means that you have an issue with your marketing, that the way that you promoted it was not something that was attracting the right kind of people. And now you can figure out which one of these two it is by, if you had enough marketing to get some kind of attention with it, then you want to make sure you actually try to go out there and get feedback from people to try to understand why they didn't buy. And likely it's going to either be that they're just not the right audience for you, or they feel that the course is not going to provide them the result that they're after, or they feel that this is not really a result that they're looking for in the first place. So that's going to help you figure out what's wrong if you don't get any sales. So then you know how to actually go back, adjust your content, adjust your marketing strategy, and then try again. But now let's say, what about the other case of, let's say you get only one person to buy it, or maybe two people buy it. Well, then what do you do? Because now you've launched this course, but you have only a couple people there. So how are you supposed to now build this whole entire course for only a couple people? Well, this is actually still a great situation, because as I said, one of the main benefits here with pre-selling is that you're going to understand how to improve your content with the feedback from your customers. So if you're looking at the idea of an online course as something to be like, well, this is a passive income strategy, in the long term, it's something that can give you income when you're not even putting time into it. But in the short term, you've got to invest time into it to be successful. And I would encourage you to not look at it as a passive income strategy. In fact, when you have these two customers in the beginning, let's say you get one or two customers, you want to spend as much time as possible and really over deliver in value to these customers, because they're going to be really valuable in the feedback that they provide to you. So let's say you do the pre-sale, you get one or two customers to buy it. What I would say you should do is actually give them an even better experience than you would give your customers later on. So maybe later on, your course is going to launch and it's just going to be the lessons themselves that people go through on their own pace. Maybe it doesn't include any kind of like one-on-one coaching or anything like that. What I would suggest is, if you do your pre-sale, you only get a couple customers, you tell those customers, hey, congratulations, thanks so much for buying my course before it was even launched. And as a thank you for pre-purchasing my course, I'm actually going to throw in some free one-on-one consulting with you to give you some extra help at no additional charge. And that, of course, is going to make them feel great, but it's also going to help ensure that you're basically getting someone to help you there with your research to figure out, well, okay, now they're going through here, and you can figure out all the different problems that that person has along the way. And if you go through that with one or two people in a lot of detail, yeah, it's going to take a whole lot more time than if you just sold this course. And it's not something you could maybe replicate like times 1,000, because if you're spending time like one-on-one on a call with people, obviously that takes a lot of effort. But that's going to help you ensure that now you can dramatically improve your course. So when you go to reach the point of the actual launch or a launch after your pre-sale, now you have something that you know is going to solve all the problems that your customers have. So now you've got the concept, but how do you go and actually implement building the technology part of being able to offer a pre-sale for your online course? Well, Heights platform makes that super easy for you, because all of the courses that you create in Heights have this feature called a launch date. And when you set a launch date on your course in Heights, that is essentially the time that the course is going to launch, that students will be able to get access to it. But the launch date feature allows students to purchase the course before the launch date happens. So all you have to do is pick a date for when you want your pre-sale to actually have the course go live. And then students will be able to buy the course from you before the course is finished. You can work on it in the meantime, be working on all of your drafts and all of your lessons. And then once the launch date happens, the students who actually purchase the course from your presale will immediately get access without any kind of adjustments or manual work needed on your part. So if you don't have a Heights platform account already, I would recommend that you go and sign up for a free trial at heightsplatform.com. And it's a 30-day free trial. So why not take that time to set up a pre-sale for your online course and see if you can validate your idea and get some sales in that time, so you can get sales before you even launch. In fact, we have some customers who have done exactly that, and I'll show an example of one of our creators here who left us a testimonial, and she decided to pre-sell her course right after signing up for a new Heights account. All right, so now hopefully you can see that if you run a pre-sale for your course in this way, even if it doesn't go as planned, and even if you get no sales or just a couple sales, it still ends up with a good result for you, and something that is going to help your business grow, and something that helps you avoid spending a bunch of time on something that isn't going to work. So it's a great way to test your idea. And another point about, let's say you only get a couple customers, the pre-sale is something where if you do go and over deliver on those customers, like I explained, they are great potential testimonials for you. So they could be some great early testimonials for you that's going to help you attract new business in the future. So I hope this video was helpful. If you want to learn more about how you can actually price your course when you're deciding to go and run this pre-sale, check out this next video.